Alrighty then, how's it going guys? I decided to make this video based on the fact that there's very little currently known information about the game Forest Village. In my own playthroughs, when I actually needed help for knowing a few basic numbers, getting an explanation as to how something works, there is very little information unknown out there. That includes both YouTube, Twitch and the Wikipedia itself. Based on that, I decided to make a video showcasing at least a few of the more advanced concepts and most of the basic ones. This should allow you to establish a self-sufficient city within the first 5 years, giving you the ability to grow however way you want and expand however you want without actually jeopardizing your villagers in the process of doing so. So let's get right to it. Alright, cool. Now, before we start out, I recommend to everyone to do the tutorial. It does explain a few of the basic concepts, so you will have a bit of an understanding of what's going on when you actually jump into the game. When it comes to mods, I'll only be using the increased camera distance because it doesn't actually affect anything. I did use these 3 ones throughout my playthroughs, but we're going to try to keep it as vanilla as we can for this one. Now let's choose the map. The name is not important. We're going to go for map size normal, just because we don't want to run out of resources, which can happen on small, especially if you're fast expanding, you might run out of trees. Relief, we're going to go for hills just to make it a bit more challenging, and we're going to just mess around with the seed, hoping to get a bit of flat land around us and very little water preferably. This one seems to be decent enough. It might be a bit high over here, but we'll work it out. And when it comes to climate, that's right. Alright, there are 4 tools that you actually need, sorry, not tools, 4 resources that you always need to keep in check just to make sure that your villagers will always be happy and be able to work. As soon as we're going to start a game, we're going to pause it off, take notice of the fact that the villager needs a home, so we're going to need to build a home for him. And we're going to have a quick look at the relief around us. Yeah, this looks fine. This will be more than fine, easily terraformed. Alright, let's start off with collecting the resources around us, just to give us a bit of a overview of what's going on. We're going to unpause, leave it at speed 2, go back down, and now we're going to be thinking a house for the person that does not have one. We're going to try to place it over here. Always leave a little bit of space, 1 tile, just so you can build roads later on. Sorry about that. Cool. Now, let's open up our profession tab. Assign 2 builders over to it. Let's start working on the building shortly. We can already plant, so I want to get up that field as fast as I can. I would normally start off with potatoes just because it's so reliable. It's by far the most reliable type of food that you can have. Now, I'm going to leave a little bit of space and I'm going to try to make it for 4 people. There we go. Cool. Now they're going to finish out the house. That person will move in there, no longer an issue. And we're going to watch the field getting built. Once it's built, I'll immediately assign people to work on it. I want to get as many vegetables as I can before the winter. Terraform, brought the resources already, and now it's building. Because it's bigger, it does require 15 amount of labor, which can be quite demanding. Either way, we don't have any idle villagers, very important to keep in check, and we don't have any hungry villagers. These 2 should always be kept in check. The 4 resources that I meant that you always need to keep in check are food, just so your villagers don't die, firewood, just so they stay warm during the winter and they don't die off of hypothermia, high quality tools or primitive tools, just so they have some tools to work with. They'll obviously do the job way faster, and clothing, just so they don't die from hypothermia as well. Cool, let's get back to our crop. Alright, almost done. Now we're going to immediately select potato, put 4 people on it, 1, 2, 3, 4, there we go. And we're going to see we're just going straight to it. We're also going to build a fisherman's lodge close to our city, just so we have an alternate source of food, but I will only be using 1 villager on it, maybe not even any. because we do start off with quite a hefty amount of food. We got 600 fish, we got 900 bread, a few fruit, not sure why they thrown a few fruit there. Okay, 4 speed. We're gonna wait for this to be built, and after that I'm gonna be focusing on getting resources just so I can build the other buildings that I might need. For now, I solely want to be working on food though. That is by far my biggest goal for this first year. During the winter, I'm not that concerned about firewood. This should be enough to get us through the winter. And when it comes to tools, these should be enough for 2 years. And clothes, you actually need clothes when your villagers are straying far away from the city. Like let's say up to here, we already got a bit of an issue. Alright, fishing shack. Fisherman's Lodge is almost done, and we're gonna assign 1 villager to it. Sorry, they blocked us. There we go. Cool. Now we only have the 1 laborer that's gonna collect the resources around us. At this stage, there's honestly not that much that I do. I would just leave it like this, getting food, getting resources, and just waiting up until maybe the late stages of summer. Then I might be thinking of adding another house, and we'll be talking about that then. See you in a bit. Alright, we're in the middle of summer. We have a teenager who's actually grown up, so that gives me 2 laborers to work with. I'm thinking adding something else now just because I did have the 1 laborer gathering resource. I did literally nothing else other than watch my little laborer gathering resources around the city. Now if we check them out, carrying food to house, and not doing anything. So they did collect all of the resources that I asked them to around the city. Now, we're going to be thinking either clothing or firewood. Just to be safe, let's just go with firewood, just so we have some firewood for the winter. In order to do that, we have it right here as a lumberjack lodge. Again, mindful of how you place it, just so you have space for roads. And we're going to do it right here. That's perfect. Cool. I'm going to put 2 builders there. As you can see over here, I'll have 2,000 potatoes. That is beautiful to see. For this amount of people, only 11 people right now, it's actually an insane amount of food. But again, we're playing it safe. As safe as we can at least. Now, I'm not even going to assign a villager over to it. I just wanted to have it built, just to have it off my mind in case I run on firewood. I just assign 1 villager quickly there, and it'll be able to produce the firewood necessary to keep people warm during the winter. Alright, other than that, I'm thinking for next year, I don't think I'll have time to get it this year. You know what, let's try it out. I'm going to try to grow flax this year on a very small field. So if I make another field here, again leaving space for a road, I'm just going to try to make it a 1-person field, small as I can. And the villagers will go and build. Should be quite easy to do. And fast. Yeah. I'm going to select some more resources to be brought over, just so I never have villagers idling. And as soon as this is done, I'll assign it flax. In order to make clothes, I'll need flax and hides. With hides, I can do them manually. I'll try to avoid doing that. Manually, I mean I can literally go into the villager, get out of here, grab my bow, take out the bear, take out the bear, and then he's going to drop hide. I can take the resources. Remember, I had 10 hides, and I can actually bring it back. It only can be put back in my barn, not in my other thingy. Can't remember what it's called. So not this one, it's the one with these outside, with the barrels outside. Cool. Now if I go out, I'll actually have 14 hides. You need 3 hides to make only 1 cloth. And you also need a weaver's workshop, which I'm thinking of building right now, once this is done. Alright, because I'm playing on harsh, winter will actually come early. During fall, I might reach, during late fall, I might reach temperatures of sub-zero, which will mean my crops will instantly vanish. Because of that, I'm going to try to get in as little as I can, just enough to make a few clothes for the winter, just so I can have people farming resources further away from the city, I mean. Alright, so we said flax, we select flax, we'll have a villager working on it, and we go back. And then we have the one sole laborer. Why is it not doing it? Oh yeah, my bad. I actually need 4 people here and 1 here, so that leaves me with only 1 laborer. Do I have anyone else assigned now? Cool. Yeah, because I got 7 people. So that's 4 here, 1 here, that's 5, and 1 laborer. That's odd, I seem to miss someone. 1, 2, 7, my bad. Cool. Hopefully we're going to be able to get a small amount of flax, and we're going to be looking at building the weaver's workshop, which will be under resources, and it will be this one. Again, try to build it in the city while leaving a little bit of space for roads. A little bit back, there we go. And 1 builder assigned to it. Even if you don't have the full amount of people over there, they'll still build it, but just at a slower rate. If you add more than 3, let's say, it won't actually do anything because there's only 3 jobs available. We should be able to get a little bit of flax if I have them harvested early on. We'll see. And as you can see right now, our potato is booming. We're going to get 2,000 off of that resource. That's going to be great for the winter. This is everything that I'm going to do for right now. I'll see you at the beginning of winter. Alright, it's still fall, but I noticed that the temperature started dropping just because I'm harsh. I'm actually going to ask them to gather immediately, just so I actually have this 250 flax at least. The weaver's workshop is still not done because they still have a lot of resources to carry over, but that should be done shortly. Still have resources to be gathered over there, no need to assign anymore. As you can see, I'm already being warned about the fact that I should collect my crops as fast as I can, because at 0 degrees they completely vanish. Now, if we just wait a little bit longer, make sure that this is going to be collected. I do have flax, all good. Cool. So now, other than this, I'll want to change this over to potato, just to have it back on food next year. That little amount of flax will be enough for the little amount of villagers that I currently have. In the future, I might change it back to flax, just to have enough to make more clothes, again, but I'll need to think about heights. That's further away though. For right now, I'm just going to wait for this to be done. I'll actually assign a villager straight away. I'm going to take him off constructing and I'll put the 1 villager in there. And we'll be able to start making clothes straight away. I'll be peachy and dandy for this first winter. Temperature already reached -1. I was only able to get 100 flax, maybe a little bit more is being carried in right now, but that's it. And that should still be sufficient. We're cutting it kind of close, but we'll be fine. It's only fall, it's not even late fall, and we've already reached -3 degrees. I'm actually a little bit glad that I went for this. Now we're going to be able to see the weaver making the clothes. I'm assuming straight away they won't even get delivered here, because people will go and get it. As soon as winter comes, you remove all of your farmers, so you can actually start, because there's no point to them being there with the purpose of having them freed up to actually collect resources around, which is exactly what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to collect more resources. Everything around, just to have a clear picture of what I'm doing. I left nobody at the fisherman's lodge just because it's not needed. I still have fish. What I also want to mention is that you want to have diverse type of foods. The more, the merrier. Because of the fact that you might be taking protein out of their diet, or I don't know, vitamins from fruit or anything of the sort, they might get sick. I've never been in that situation because I've always tried to give as many types of food to the villagers as I could. I'm going to take away the weaver because the amount of clothes that he could create is now done. We apparently still have 3 people are taking them. We'll be fine. For the first winter, 2. for the first winter, we should be fine. If I do need more hides, if I do see that number going down to 0, I will pick up another villager and get more hides manually. If not, I'm just going to be building a hunter's lodge. Right now though, because I actually have so much food, I'm thinking about expanding. I want to get as many villagers up as fast as I can. But for this first winter, we're looking great. We have firewood, we have tools, we don't have clothing. You know what? Let's do that. Let's find an animal. I honestly cannot see one right now. Surprisingly enough, they're usually everywhere in your house and whatnot. No, that's a rock. That is amazing. There's a bear right there. Kind of far away, but I will. He was carrying fuel to the house, not anymore. Gonna take our bow, aim for the bear. Miss, obviously. Miss again, obviously. That's clearly not hitting him, right? Yeah. Why would it hit him? Like, there we go. Right click to cancel. Take the hides. And I don't know, that was like 14 hides divided by 3. That's at least 4 clothes. We would need about 2 or 3 more maybe. Oh, that's very convenient. There's a bear right there. Let's get this to the barn. You can just dump it off over at the barrels. Get the other bird that's right here, conveniently. I'm not sure what's happening around. I think a tree must have been knocked down by one of the villagers. And drop the resource off again. Cool. So now we're going to have a few more hides that will be able to give us a few more clothes. So I'm signing back the weaver. We're just going to let this go, watch it as it carries on, and just be happy knowing the fact that we're totally fine for this winter. Even if we might be missing a few clothes, we are cutting it close, but I don't think anyone will actually freeze off. Just because they're working pretty close to the city, if they do actually get cold, they can just run off to one of the houses and get warm in there. We still have a bunch of firewood. We're into early winter already. We're at -9 degrees. That will go lower, unfortunately, but again, we should be all fine. Right now, let's just say to be safe again, I'm just going to assign a person on firewood. I'm going to take away this dude because we're clearly done on clothes. And I'm already thinking of expanding. Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. And I'm actually going to assign 2 fishermen just to bring in a bit more fish. And we're going to be making a new small house. I don't know. Let's make it... Here seems nice. Let's see where the entrance is. Right there. Cool. I'm gonna assign 2 villagers over there. Takes quite a while for them to actually carry their resources over. This is the only thing that the mod was helping me out on that I didn't actually notice how helpful it was. The villagers carry more weight for villagers 4 times. I was using 4 times. It's not actually needed because when they go out and collect wood, the stacks are pretty small. But when actually carrying out resources to buildings, it's actually quite noticeable. Now that we're going to have this additional house, people will start moving in straight away. They're going to have babies. Everyone's going to be happy. We're going to have more people. Everyone will have food. It'll be great. Cool. I'm going to leave it off here for now. I want to jump into the new year in a different episode just because it's actually been quite a while, and we'll pick it off for the next year from there. You have a nice one.